Major financial groups have begun discussions to establish emergency management plans as the Korean won has depreciated sharply against the US dollar.
원달러 환율이 크게 오르면서 국내 주요 금융지주들이 비상 경영 계획 수립을 위해 논의에 들어갔습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so when we're talking about financial groups, we're talking about these big major financial holding companies. And usually what these organizations do is they release sort of a forecast or a plan for the following year. Now, what's happened in this span of a couple of weeks or months, I'd say, is the won, the current currency, has depreciated. Its value has gone down.
Yep.
So what these financial companies are having to do is to revise their projections for next year. We're talking about board reports, resolutions, and of course these mandatory filings that they need to financial authorities here because they did this when they first did this. The won was at about the 1300 range, won range, but now that's soared well into the 1400s. I think last week it peaked at 1450 won.
Well, the weakened Korean won has forced economic pundits to reevaluate their forecast for Korea because they weren't expecting certain things to happen.
Right. Basically, if you're an importer, for example, you're having to pay more to import goods into the country because the won's value is that much weaker.
Yeah, that's right. 자, 원화의 약세. The won's value is now weaker than it was a couple of weeks ago. Well, let's have a look at the first expression here. To begin discussions.
Yeah, so in this case, we're talking internally within these financial companies. They've begun discussions, and a discussion would be a conversation, right? So you're basically starting to talk about something with other people to reach some sort of decision.
논의를 시작하다. Begin discussions. And an emergency?
Yeah, an emergency, you think 119. It's an unforeseen sort of situation or circumstance that requires some sort of immediate action, right?
그렇죠.
In this case, emergency meetings or plans that need to be set up.
비상사태가 될 수도 있고 그냥 비상이라는 의미가 있을 수 있고요. 응급이라는 의미가 있을 수도 있죠. 미국에서는 911이라는 번호로 통용이 되죠. 모든 이제 비상 상황에서 이거 아닌가요?
All emergency
그렇죠.
services,
네,
yes.
911 전화하면은
Yeah.
그다음에 거기서 오퍼레이터가 어떤 emergency가 있나요? What's your emergency? 이렇게 물어보면 뭐 화재일 수도 있고 아니면은 강도 사건일 수도 있고 여러 가지를 다 이제 이 한 번호로 캐나다는 번호가 어떻게 되나요?
It's the exact same,
Is it the
911.
same?
Yes, it is.
Okay, 똑같군요.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't know
is. You know, the country codes are the same too in phone numbers, but
Really?
one. In any case, yes, you're correct. In the U.S., North
Yeah.
America, 911 will get you to fire services, law enforcement,
Everything.
ambulance, everything. Yeah.
In England, it's 999.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and in Korea, we actually have many different numbers
Yeah.
for the different services.
Right.
But generally speaking, 119.
119 and
Although it's supposed to
112 would be the one to remember,
112
right?
is for police services
Right.
and 119 is for fire operations. But nonetheless, yes, those are all emergencies.
Yes.
다 비상 상황인 거죠.
Right, because right now we're in a financially emergency sort of situation because this other word I want to just briefly mention, depreciate.
Yeah.
In business, if something depreciates, its value
Yes.
goes down, much like the won currency here.
And I think of something depreciating in value as soon as you buy it. I think of cars.
Cars are of course, the moment the car drives off the lot,
Yeah.
its value
Value.
just decreases, right?
Exactly.
It depreciates, and that's also an accounting term, right?
Yeah. Although there are some classics, classic cars that do appreciate in
Yes.
value over time, but those are the exceptions, I suppose.
Right, you're talking about vintage sort of cars, right? Yeah.
맞습니다. Depreciate가 가치가 떨어진다. Appreciate는 가치가 오른다라는 의미가 경제에선 있습니다. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼까요? Major financial groups have begun discussions to establish emergency management plans as the Korean won has depreciated sharply against the US dollar. Let's move on to the next headline.
Talks to reach a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas are 90% complete, with key issues yet to be bridged, according to a senior Palestinian official.
팔레스타인 고위 관계자에 따르면 아직 주요 쟁점이 남아있긴 해도 이스라엘과 하마스 간의 가자지구 휴전 및 인질 석방에 관한 협상이 90% 완료된 것으로 전해졌습니다.
So according to this Palestinian official, this ceasefire deal is almost there.
Okay.
The one sticking point, this one area that they have yet to agree on, is this strip of land in southern Gaza, which is a strategically important sort of territory there along the border with Egypt. But if this ceasefire does, if it is agreed upon, then it would create a possible creation of a buffer zone near this area along Israel's border with Gaza. Also, this would be a three-stage ceasefire that could be agreed within days. So it seems imminent at this point. And it would include a hostage exchange of 20 Palestinian prisoners for every female Israeli soldier in the first of three stages.
그렇죠. 아직 지금 90%는 합의가 됐지만 한 10% 정도가 안 됐다라고 말하는 이유는 합의에 이르지 못한 한 가지 쟁점이 있다는 겁니다. 그게 이제 남부 가사 쪽에 있는 한 지역을 이제 어떻게 할 것인가. 그거에 대한 합의가 아직은 이루어지지 않았지만 나머지는 지금 상당히 많은 진전을 보이고 있어요.
That's the sticking point, right?
That's the sticking point. Yes, that's right. But other than that, there's been a lot of progress. Let's have a look at hostage release.
Yeah, so if you release something, of course, you're setting it free or you're allowing it to go. And a hostage is someone who's been captured.
Right.
And, you know, harm may be done upon that person if the demands of the person kidnapping or holding that hostage doesn't agree.
그렇죠. 인질, hostage, 석방, release, hostage release. And yet to be something.
Yeah, if something's yet to be, it's until now, as of yet, something hasn't happened or has
Yeah.
happened. So up until this point or so far is another way to say it.
아직 뭐뭐가 되지 않았다. Yet to be something이라고 얘기를 하거든요. 여기서는 yet to be bridged라고 했고 the future is yet to come 뭐 이렇게 표현할 수도 있고요. 뒤에 동사는 바꿀 수 있습니다.
Right. So anything continuously up to the present is what yet means. So yet to do or yet to be something. But of course, yet can also mean but in a different meaning. But
That's right.
in this case, it's talking about not yet. Well, I use the word to describe the word.
Exactly.
But yet is up until this point, yes.
맞아요. 따로따로 다 의미가 있긴 하지만 이거를 하나의 덩어리로 생각해서 yet to be something, 무엇이 아직 되지 않은 상태다 이런 뜻이 되겠습니다. bridged라는 것은 이제 다리가 세워져 가지고 양측 간의 어떤 합의가 이루어졌다는 뜻인데 아직 그렇게 되지 않았다는 뜻이죠.
No compromise yet.
No. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Talks to reach a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas are 90% complete, with key issues yet to be bridged, according to a senior Palestinian official.
Greece's former royal family has applied for Greek citizenship and formally acknowledged the country's republican system of government in a landmark move 50 years after the monarchy was abolished.
그리스 전 왕실 가족들이 자국의 공화정 체제를 공식 인정하고 국적 회복을 신청했습니다. 이는 이들이 그리스에서 군주제가 폐지된 지 50년 만에 내린 역사적인 결정입니다.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I don't think I remember at least, but Greece used to have a monarchy. They had a royal family up until 1974 when the residents there, Greek citizens, abolished it by referendum. And this came about just months after there was a 7-year rule of military dictatorship in Greece. So members of the royal family actually lived in exile for decades because the last king, Constantine II, and his family members were stripped because there was a dispute. They had a dispute with the government over formerly royal property and claims that he refused to renounce any right to the Greek throne for his descendants. But King Constantine II has since passed, and his family members have signed a declaration acknowledging the government formally and adopting this new surname, de Gris or de Grèce. I guess it's French for of Greece. So that's all settled. So there's a little Greek history for you.
사실 이제 왕정은 그냥 그 이름만으로 뭐 king 누구, queen 누구, prince, princess 이렇게 하기 때문에 성이 따로 있지는 않은데 이제 민간인이 됐을 때는 성이 있어야 되는 거잖아요.
Yes.
그래서 이렇게 만들었군요. 불어로 이제 of Greece를 뜻하는 드그레스가 이 가족의 새로운 성이 됐어요.
My understanding is the royal family in England or Great Britain, they have a last name.
그러니까 마찬가지예요. 그러니까
Yeah.
민간인처럼 성을 써야 할 때는 윈저를 쓰지만
Windsor, okay.
원래는 없죠.
Okay.
그런데 예를 들자면은 이제 프린스 윌리엄하고 프린스 해리는 처음으로 일반 학교를 다녔어요.
Right.
그전에는 다 그냥 집에서 튜터링을 하면서 왕자들을 키웠었는데 뭐 공주도 마찬가지고. 근데 일반 학교를 보내다 보니까 졸업장에 성이 있어야 되는 거예요. 그래가지고 그때 윌리엄 윈저 그리고 뭐 해리 윈저 이런 식으로 그래서 윈저라는 거를 그때 붙여줬어요.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they're one of the people with one famous for one name,
Yeah.
like Madonna,
Oprah, well,
Pele. Well, Oprah has a last name.
She does have a
Well,
last name. Yeah,
Madonna's
yeah.
also a stage name.
Yeah,
but in
yeah.
any case, yes. But yes, in any case, in Greece,
Yeah.
this has happened here.
Right. So they lived in exile, you said, for many decades.
Yes, and they've since returned.
망명 상태로 지내다가 이제는 그리스 국적을 제대로 그 신청을 해가지고 얻게 됐군요.
Yeah, because what they did was they formally acknowledged the
Right.
government of Greece.
Okay, let's look at that then.
Yeah, so when you acknowledge something, you're recognizing it, right? You're accepting it. And if you do that formally, you're doing it officially by either rule or by law or by custom.
공식적으로 무언가를 할 때 formally 우리가 이제 비공식적으로 할 때는 informally라고 하죠. 그 다음에 무언가를 인정해 줄 때는 acknowledging이라고 합니다. 이게 스펠링이 좀 어려운데요. A-C-K-N-O-W-L-E-D-G E까지가 이제 원형이고 뒤에 D까지 붙이면은 이렇게 인정했다.
Yeah, often in emails, in business communication, if you receive an email and you want to tell the other person that you've accepted it or
Yeah,
acknowledged it, you would
right.
just in short form, I think these days, ACK. You just write ACK, which means
그렇군요.
acknowledged.
이거 이렇게 줄여가지고 ACK 그러면은
Yep.
제가 이거를 인지했습니다.
Yep.
이런 의미로 쓸 수가 있군요. 비즈니스 이메일에서는. 자, 그 다음에 abolish. What's that?
Yeah, when you abolish something, you completely get rid of it, right? And if in a more formal context, you're annulling it or possibly revoking something, you're ending something.
Yep. 뭔가를 폐지하는 것을 abolishing이라고 하죠. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Greece's former royal family has applied for Greek citizenship and formally acknowledged the country's republican system of government in a landmark move 50 years after the monarchy was abolished. Let's move on to the next headline.
Switzerland has unveiled the world's steepest cable car, climbing 775 meters in just 4 minutes at a gradient of almost 160%.
세계에서 가장 가파른 케이블카 노선이 스위스에서 운행을 시작했습니다. 경사도가 160도에 달하는 이 케이블카는 775m의 높이를 단 4분 만에 주파하는 것으로 알려졌습니다.
Yeah, so this cableway or this cable car connects the village of Steckelberg, possibly, with the village of Muren. And at the very top is a revolving restaurant that was made famous in a James Bond film, an old one, on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I think it was the 1960s. But in any case, this cableway, if you've ever seen a picture, have you seen a picture of
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I mean, it's almost like an elevator because it's so steep.
It is.
It hasn't been recognized yet by the Guinness World Records as the steepest, not yet. But Switzerland, because of its terrain, its mountainous regions, the Alps, they have a lot of world records in terms of railway and transportation in these mountains. For example, the world's steepest funicular railway is also in Switzerland. And they also have the world's first cable car with a roofless upper deck. So it's like a convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That famous classical piece, Funiculi Funicula, that is based on the cable car.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
what I
like
understand.
I think over in Namsan there's an inclinator. I don't think it's a funicular. It may be. If you know, let us know. But
I don't know.
it's basically a railway that's connected by cable, so it goes up and down. Right.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, well, let's have a look at the word steep.
Yeah, if something's steep, it simply put, it means it's very high, right? There's a very large angle compared to the horizon. Maybe
Right.
it's either going up, mounting, or falling very precipitously.
네, 가파르다, steep. steepest는 가장 가파른이라는 뜻인데요. 참고로 좀 말씀드리자면 여기서 경사도가 160도 정도라고 얘기를 했어요. 경사도와 경사각은 다르죠.
Yes.
그래서 경사각, 우리 그냥 보통 수학 시간에 배운 요 각도로 생각했을 때는 이게 한 60도 정도 각도가 된다고 하는데요. 경사도 퍼센티지로 봤을 때는 이게 160%로 풀이가 됩니다. 그러니까 보통 이제 45도 각도가 경사도는 100%라고 하거든요.
So now I understand because when you're driving, sometimes when you drive over in Gangwon-do, for example, you have street signs that'll show the incline or
Right.
the slope. It'll say 10%, 5%. So I always thought it was the angle, but it's actually
No.
the gradient.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? The gradient is basically the slope. It's the rate of increase. If we want to get really technical, it's the tangent of the angle.
아, 오랜만에 듣네요.
Tangent,
tangent.
yes.
네, gradient가 바로 이 경사도입니다. Gradient. 그리고 경사각은 영어로 angle. angle 이렇게 써요. 그래서 대략적으로 각도상으로는 한 60도 정도 각도예요. 굉장히 가파른 거죠.
Yeah.
근데 이게 경사도로 해석을 했을 때는 160도가 된다고 합니다.
Yeah, trust us. If
근데-
stick tangent 160 into your calculator.
160%라고 해야 될까요?
160%.
아, 그죠.
Right.
160%라고 해야 될 것 같네요. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 영어로 읽어보겠습니다. Switzerland has unveiled the world's steepest cable car, climbing 775 meters in just 4 minutes at a gradient of almost 160%. Let's move on to the final headline.
The North American Aerospace Defense Command will once again track Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, continuing a tradition that has lasted nearly 7 decades.
네, 북미 항공우주방위사령부는 예년과 마찬가지로 올해도 크리스마스 이브인 24일 내일 산타클로스의 비행을 실시간으로 중계하는 전통을 69년째 이어갈 예정이라고 밝혔습니다.
Yeah, so this is an annual tradition,
Yeah.
right? NORAD, as it's more commonly known, it's the North American Aerospace Defense Command. It's a combined sort of organization between the U.S. and Canada that tracks any sort of aerospace warnings or during 9/11, NORAD. They mobilized jets at the time. So what they do every Christmas Eve is they pretend, or actually, if there are any children, if there's any children
no one
listening,
pretends to do anything.
they actually
Shane.
track Santa Claus because
Yes.
Santa Claus is real, everyone. So, they try to mimic or try to follow Santa Claus as he visits every single child in the world.
I checked this last year.
Did you?
So you can look up online, where is Santa Claus right
Right.
now? And you'll find like a live, almost like a live streaming, a live, sort of indication of where Santa is across the world. And,
Right.
he moves across the world all over the place very quickly. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some people say it's mathematically impossible. He would have to
Well, it's Santa
travel
Claus.
at the speed of light, but it's Santa
It's
Claus,
Santa.
so
네.
you can't explain it through science. But
그러게요.
yeah,
네.
but this actually all began quite accidentally when a child tried to actually phone Santa. It was a department store sort of promotion. It was like a holiday promotion, but the child called the wrong number and accidentally got connected to NORAD. And
Wow.
a tradition was born.
그랬군요. 아, 어떻게 해서 북미항공우주 방위사령부가 이게 함께 하게 됐나 했더니 그 오래전, 한 70년 전에 한
Yeah.
어린아이가 번호를 잘못 눌러가지고 여기 이제 우주방위사령부에 전화를 걸어서 산타 지금 어디 계세요? 라고 물어본 게 이제 시작이 돼서
Yeah.
아예 그거를 이제 실시간 어디 있다는 알려주는 시스템이 생겼군요. 그래서 아마 검색해 보시면은 나올 거예요. 내일 이제 크리스마스 이브니까 그거를 이제 뭐 인터넷으로 편리하게 뭐 핸드폰이나 이런 걸로 검색해 보시면 지금 어디를 날고 있는지
Yeah.
여기 나옵니다. 굉장히 신기해요. 저도 작년에 보면서 와, 여기를 지금 지나고 있네. 뭐 이러면서 한국은 언제 오지? 뭐 이랬었는데.
I imagine Korea would be one of the first sort of areas because
그럴 수 있어요.
we have the international date line.
Ah, that's true.
And so
yeah.
Santa would work west from there, I assume.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
그래요. 궁금하신 분들은 한번 검색해보세요. 실시간으로 어디에 있는지 알 수 있습니다. 이렇게 추적하는 거를 영어로는 tracking이라고 하죠.
Yeah,
T-R-A-C-K.
ACK. You're monitoring or following someone. You have tracking devices, of
Yeah.
course. Tags that you can just put on your personal property these days.
맞아요. 자, 무언가 추적하는 것을 track, T-R-A-C-K 한다라고 하고요. And continuing a tradition,
Yeah, it means you're keep doing something that's been done for a very long time by a group or a family.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
전통을 계속 이어가다, continue a tradition. So we're continuing the Christmas tradition of dressing up.
Yeah.
And this has been done by numerous people around the world for decades and decades.
Sure. This morning it was a very festive mood in here. There's a lot of gifts being exchanged here at Morning Special,
That's a
making me
tradition?
feel bad because I didn't
You're
prepare
the
anything.
gift.
Oh, I'm the gift.
You're the gift, yes.
But maybe for next year we can do a little Secret Santa here at Morning Special,
perhaps.
if everyone agrees, just as a new tradition.
All right, we might consider that. All right, well, let me read this headline one more time. The North American Aerospace Defense Command will once again track Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, continuing a tradition that has lasted nearly 7 decades. All right, that's it for the headlines with Shane.
The Korean won-dollar exchange rate has surged to the 1,451 range for the first time in 15 years, suggesting that the unexpected weakening of the won could continue.
원달러 환율이 15년 만에 처음으로 1,450원대로 급등하면서 예상 밖의 원화 약세가 앞으로 고착화할 수 있다는 전망이 나오고 있습니다. The Korean won is really weak right now.
Yeah, it is. So it's putting domestic companies from small and medium enterprises to large conglomerates on high alert as they are scrambling about to devise countermeasures. So they say at the beginning of this year, the exchange rate hovered at about 1,300 won to the dollar. And this was fueled by optimism over potential U.S. interest rate cuts. But it began to climb after Donald Trump won the U.S. presidential election. And of course, there was the unstable political situation here in Korea, including the declaration of the martial law, and of course, shifts in U.S. monetary policy, which has driven the rate above the 1,451 mark. That was back in November 19th. And of course, a higher exchange rate means that the South Korean won has depreciated against the dollar, making it weak. And this is particularly concerning for, of course, Korea because it's a trade-dependent economy and it's very sensitive to currency fluctuations. And, we used to think a weaker won is a boon for exporters because it increases their earnings in dollar terms. But a lot of South Korean companies have been relocating their manufacturing bases to the U.S. So this has left them with, they're basically more exposed to volatility and with a weaker won inflating debt burdens from large upfront investments and cutting into their operating profits. They're scrambling about to think of countermeasures. I think a lot of companies are restructuring right now in order to deal with this because they're saying that it might be prolonged.
Well, the surge in the $1 exchange rate was very unexpected.
Yeah.
Let's look at that word.
Right. So when something is unexpected, it basically means that it's not expected and it was not regarded as likely to happen. So it kind of happened very suddenly.
Right. 예상 밖이다. It was unexpected. 자, 그다음에 weakening 원이죠, 이 경우에는요.
Yeah. So in this case, it could be used for a lot of different things, not just when we're talking about currency, but when something weakens, it means to lose or cause to lose strength or vigor. And, in this case, we were talking about our currency, the won losing strength against the dollar.
weakening, 약해진다. 여기서 동명사로 쓰였어요. 그래서 the weakening of the won입니다. 약해짐이 되겠네요. weaken이라는 게 약해지다라는 동사입니다. Let me read the headline again. The Korean won-dollar exchange rate has surged to the 1,451 range for the first time in 15 years, suggesting that the unexpected weakening of the won could continue. Let's move on to the second headline.
Canadian athlete and activist Terry Fox, who campaigned to raise awareness and funding for cancer research by running 42 kilometers a day across Canada on a prosthetic leg, is set to appear on the country's next $5 bill.
캐나다의 운동선수이자 사회운동가인 테리 폭스가 캐나다 새 $5 지폐의 주인공으로 선정됐습니다. 그는 암에 대한 인식 확산 그리고 암 연구 기금 마련 캠페인을 위해 의족으로 하루 42km씩 달리며 캐나다를 횡단했던 인물입니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Fox will appear on the banknote, replacing Sir Wilfrid Laurier, who will now appear on the next version of the $50 note in Canada. And Fox campaigned to raise awareness and funding for cancer research. So as we mentioned, he ran 42 kilometers a day across Canada during his Marathon of Hope on a prosthetic leg. Wow. And by February of 1981, this marathon raised $24.7 million, and that's $1 for every Canadian. So they say that unfortunately his run was interrupted just past the halfway point when his cancer reached his lungs and unfortunately took his life.
I see.
So they say that through his efforts, the 22-year-old showed Canadians the difference that just an ordinary person could make through sheer willpower and determination. And today, Terry Fox runs are made or held every year across the country and around the world to raise money for cancer research.
Yeah. Well, his run, as you said, 42 kilometers a day, was to raise awareness regarding cancer. Let's have a look at raising awareness.
Yeah, so we use this expression a lot. It just goes together. When you raise awareness for a certain cause, for something, it means to publicize an important cause or issue to inform or educate people about it.
자, 무엇에 대한 인식을 고취시키다, 무언가를 널리 알리다, 이거를 raise awareness about something, raise awareness on something 이렇게 표현을 할 수 있겠고요. 자, prosthetic leg, what's that?
Yeah, so prosthetic leg. So we say prosthetics,
Yeah.
and it's basically using an artificial device. It could be a leg in this, like in this case, or it could be another limb, like your arms, your fingers. So it replaces a missing body part, which may have been lost through physical trauma. It could have been a disease, or some people are born without limbs at birth.
Yes. limbs. limbs는 사지, 팔다리를 말해요. 여기서는 그 중에서 다리를 언급하고 있죠. prosthetic는 이제 뭐 man-made로
Yeah.
되어 있는 것을 말하기 때문에 의족입니다. prosthetic leg. 그러면은 뭐 prosthetic hand 그러면은 의수라고 해야 되겠죠. 그런 식으로 이제 통칭하면은 그냥 prosthetics s만 붙이면 되는데 구체적으로 어디인지를 말하고 싶으면은 prosthetic 하고 뒤에다가 그 신체 부위를 얘기하면 됩니다.
Yeah.
자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Canadian athlete and activist Terry Fox, who campaigned to raise awareness and funding for cancer research by running 42 kilometers a day across Canada on a prosthetic leg, is set to appear on the country's next $5 bill.
Scientists have delivered the first measurements of the Greenland ice sheet's changing shape using data from the European and American Space Agency's satellites.
과학자들이 유럽과 미국 우주기구의 위성 데이터를 사용해 그린란드 빙상의 변화 양상을 처음으로 측정한 수치를 공개했습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so global warming is driving the rapid melting of the Greenland ice sheet, contributing to global sea level rise and disrupting weather patterns worldwide. We've been just noticing, there's been floods. The weather's been extremely hot, extremely cold. We've seen snow falling in deserts. So the weather has just been crazy. And a lot of people are saying it's because the ice sheets are melting
Right.
or the polar ice caps are melting. And they say that because of the melting ice sheet, precise measurements of its changing shape are of critical importance for adapting to climate change. So as we mentioned, scientists have delivered the first measurements of the Greenland ice sheet's changing shape, and they're using data from ESA's CryoSat and NASA's ICESat-2 ice missions. And they say that both satellites use different technology to collect measurements. And what they found was between between 2010 and 2023, the Greenland ice sheet thinned by 1.2 meter on average. However, much larger changes occurred across the ice sheet's ablation zone, where summer melting exceeded winter snowfall there, and the average thinning amounted to up to 6.4 meters. And they say the most extreme thinning occurred at the ice sheet's outer glaciers, and altogether, the ice sheet shrank by 2,347 cubic kilometers across the 13-year survey period. So global warming is real. There's the facts are out there.
그린란드의 빙상이 지금 13년 사이에 상당히 많이 줄었다는 얘기예요. 그래서 이 얼음이 평균적으로 뭐 1m 이상 줄어들었다고 하고 뭐 많은 곳은 몇십 미터씩이나 얼음이 녹은 거죠.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the word measurement here.
Right. So measurement or measurements, it's you are basically getting the size or length or amount of something by measuring. So it's established by measuring it.
Yeah, exactly. 자, 여기서 이제 측정한 그 수치, 치수, 이거를 measurement. 보통 이제 하나 이상이니까 S 많이 붙이긴
Yeah,
하지만
yeah.
뭐 만약에 딱 하나다.
If it's just one,
그러면은 단수로 쓰면 돼요. What about the changing shape of something?
Right. So changing shape of something, it means that it has assumed a different form or shape. You can also say changing form.
Right. 모양이 바뀌었다. 그래서 그 changing form이라고도 할 수 있고요. 형상의 변화입니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Scientists have delivered the first measurements of the Greenland ice sheet's changing shape using data from the European and American Space Agency's satellites. Now let's move on to the next headline.
A restaurant in southern China has stirred controversy by using academic degrees instead of numbers to mark prices on its menu, including kindergarten, primary school, master's degree, and PhD tiers.
중국 남부의 한 음식점이 메뉴판 가격을 표시하면서 유치원, 초등학교, 석사, 박사 등 학력을 숫자 대신 사용해 논란이 되고 있습니다. Tell us what this is about.
Yeah,
What
so
does this mean?
basically when you look at the menu, instead of saying, oh, this dish is how much in like won or the currency that they use, it would say, oh, kindergarten or primary school or a PhD. So as you know, as we go up from kindergarten all the way up to PhD or even above that, the price, if it goes up, it means that, so basically the lowest price would be like kindergarten, or actually they had, the lowest price was 5 yuan,
Yeah.
which means illiterate. And the highest price of a menu item, I think, was about
32.
32 yuan.
Yep.
And they say that this was above a PhD degree.
제가 지금 그 메뉴판 그림을 보고 있는데요. 그 가격도 나와 있지만 그 앞에 이제 이게 어떤 가격인지를 표시하는 게 문맹부터 시작해서 중학교도 있고 그다음에 이제 맨 마지막에 얘기한 석사와 박사까지. 그래서 좀 저렴한 가격의 요리는 문맹, 그다음에 뭐 초등학교 뭐 이런 식으로 되어 있고 좀 비싼 요리는 박사
Yeah.
이렇게 표시를 했어요. 그래서 지금
Yeah.
논란이 되고 있습니다.
Yeah. So
아이고.
some people are saying that, it's not like one person said, does this imply that the more advanced degree a person holds, the higher their income will be? So they're taking it kind of personally,
Yeah,
while
yeah.
others are saying that, it's being creative. They're trying to be different. And that I think that's what the people at the restaurant are saying. They're just, trying to be a little bit creative, a little bit different. But they, I think the officials that are in charge of that district, they say that they're saying that it's kind of just a marketing act, and they're allowing the restaurant to set prices as they fit.
그래요. 이거 창의적이라고 해야 되는 건지 모르겠지만 어쨌든
I think it's just rubbing
특이합니다.
people the wrong way.
They could be rubbing
Yeah.
people the wrong way.
Yeah.
자, 이거 굉장히 좋은 표현인데요. Rub someone the wrong way. rub, rub라는 건 문지르다 이런 뜻이 있는데 잘못된 방향으로 누군가를 문지르다라는 것은요, 누구의 심기를 매우 불편하게 한다.
Yeah.
이런 뜻이 있습니다. 그래서 이게 논란이 된 데는 다 그럴 만한 이유가
Yeah.
있겠죠. 그러니까 지금 뭐 10위안짜리는 유치원 가격이다. 뭐 13위안은 초등학교 가격이다. 뭐 20위안은 대학교 가격이다. 이게 심기 불편하게 만들 수 있을 것 같아요. 자, 표현 좀 보겠습니다. This has stirred controversy or controversy.
Yeah. So you can say controversy in different ways. And if you stir controversy, well, first of all, controversy
Yeah.
means that there's a lot of discussion or argument going on about something. And it often involves strong feelings of anger or disapproval. And if you're stirring that up, it means that you're causing a lot of discussion and argument about something. And this often involves a lot of strong feelings of anger or disapproval.
그렇죠. 자, 논란 발음 두 가지예요. 강세를 controversy라고 할 수도 있고 controversy 이렇게 첫 번째 음절, 두 번째 음절 다 가능합니다. 대체적으로 미국에서는 controversy라고
Yeah.
하고요. 영국에서는 controversy라고 하는데 자, 단어는 강세는 뭐 이렇게 둘 다 되고 의미가 논란이에요. stir는 우리 커피에 이제 뭐 숟가락이나 이런 거 넣어가지고 저으는 거 이게 stirring이거든요 원래는. 그런데 이런 논란을 만드는 거죠. 네, 논란을 일으키다. 이거를 또 역시 stir, S-T-I-R를 써가지고 stir controversy 이렇게 말합니다.
Yep.
Now, what about the word tier?
Tiered. So
Yeah.
tier, we talk about this when there are different levels or different grades and when there is a sort of hierarchy within a system.
여러 가지 단계라고 보면 될 것 같아요. TIER인데요. 이렇게 학교를 가지고 메뉴 가격 단계를 매긴다는
Yeah.
게 뭐 레벨을 매긴다는
Yeah.
것이 좀 논란이 되고 있어요. 근데 식당에서는 사실 이런 가격 시스템을 몇 년 동안 우린 잘 사용하고 있는데 왜 그러냐 이런 입장인 것 같아요.
Why now? Like, why is it becoming a controversy now? Yeah.
근데 많은 누리꾼들이 뭐 좀 갸우뚱한답니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. A restaurant in southern China has stirred controversy by using academic degrees instead of numbers to mark prices on its menu, including kindergarten, primary school, master's degree, and PhD tiers. Now let's move on to the final headline.
K-pop boy group Stray Kids has topped the Billboard 200 albums chart for the sixth time with their new album Hop, making history as the first group to debut at number one with their first 6 albums since the chart's launch in 1956.
네, K-pop 그룹 스트레이 키즈가 새 앨범 합으로 빌보드 메인 앨범 차트인 빌보드 200에서 6회 연속 1위에 올랐습니다. 첫 6 앨범이 내리 모두 1위를 차지한 그룹은 1956년 차트가 만들어진 이래 이들이 처음입니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so it's not just BTS or Blackpink
Right.
that are setting all these records on the Billboard chart. We're seeing Stray Kids.
Yeah.
They're doing extremely well. So basically, this group has topped the Billboard 200 chart. It's not the Billboard Global chart. It's the main chart on the Billboard, the comprehensive charts. And they've done this for the 6th time with their new album. So Billboard said in a chart preview on Sunday that Stray Kids debuted at number 1 on their Billboard 200 albums chart with their new album with 187,000 equivalent album units earned in the US. And with that, the group has become the first group ever to debut at number 1 with their first 6 albums since 1956 when the chart was launched. And they previously debuted on top of the chart with their albums Ordinary and Maxident back in 2022, as well as Rockstar and 5 Star in 2023 and 8 in July this year. So with this achievement, Stray Kids ties with BTS as well as Linkin Park and Dave Matthews Band for the most number ones among groups in the Billboard 200 since 2000.
뭐 대단한
Yeah.
대단한 그 기록이고요. 저는 이 제목이 눈에 띄더라고요. So this really stood out for me because in English it's HOP hop. 그런데 우리말로는 합. 그래서 옆에 한자로도 이제 합할 합자를 써가지고 이게 이제 합이 미국식으로 발음하면 또 합이
Yeah.
되겠죠.
Yeah.
영국식으로 하면 홉이 되겠지만 어쨌든 그래서 제목 잘 만들었다는
Yeah, it's
생각이
very
좀 들더라고요.
creative, like creative play on words
It
in
is.
many different languages, right?
맞아요.
Yeah.
발음하기도 쉽고. Okay, let's look at making history.
Yeah, so when something makes history, it means that something or someone has done something that will be remembered or will influence the course of history.
네, 역사에 남다, 역사에 남을 일을 하다. 이걸 바로 make history라고 합니다. And to launch something,
Yeah, so here, when they say that the chart was launched or the charts launched back in 1956, it means the chart began or it started.
발음이 좀 다르죠, 여러분. 지금 캐런 선생님은 launch라고 해서 그게 아마 그대로 우리말에 와가지고 뭐 런칭 할 때
Yeah, yeah.
런칭이라고 쓰잖아요. 근데 이제 영국에서는 launching이라고 해요. 그래서 좀 더 론에 가까운데 스펠링 알려주시겠어요?
Yeah, it's spelled Launch. Launch. It's not
lunch.
Yeah, it's not lunch. We're not lunching. We're
No,
not
no.
eating lunch together.
그렇죠. 요 발음 주의하시면 될 것 같아요. 점심 그 런치는 Lunch. 그런데 무언가 시작한다라는 launch는 Launch입니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. K-pop boy group Stray Kids has topped the Billboard 200 albums chart for the sixth time with their new album Hop, or Hub, making history as the first group to debut at number one with their first 6 albums since the chart's launch in 1956. All right, well, that's it for the headlines.
The average commuting time for Koreans this year was found to be over 70 minutes per day, while the Seoul metropolitan area recorded the longest commuting time at 1 hour and 22 minutes, according to Statistics Korea.
통계청 자료에 따르면 올해 우리나라 통근 근로자의 평균 출퇴근 시간은 70분이 넘었으며 수도권 직장인의 하루 통근 시간은 1시간 22분으로 전국에서 가장 긴 것으로 나타났습니다. A lot of people spending hours commuting on the
Yeah,
road.
and bad news if you live in the Seoul area because you're spending longer than everyone else on average.
That's right.
So the national average was 73.9 minutes for this year, but Seoul's average was 82 minutes. High traffic congestion was the reason for it, according to one agency official. If you're in your 30s, you've got the longest commute time at around 76.9 minutes. As you get older, luckily so for us, our commuting time is meant to get shorter. But if you've got preschool kids, it gets longer. They had one of the longest times, 77 minutes. That's longer than those without young children, whose average was about 73.7 minutes.
I guess it really has to do with where you decide to live. If you
Yes.
have children, you might choose to live in a certain area that's
Absolutely.
better for the kids, but it's further away from your workplace. And people in their 30s, perhaps, they don't mind living quite far away because they don't have enough money to buy homes near their workplace.
Yeah, and I have no idea what my average is because my commute this morning was 20 minutes. My commute tomorrow will be 2 hours going to Dongducheon.
Oh my goodness. 그렇습니다. 수도권이 뭐 평균적으로 가장 통근 시간이 길기는 했습니다만 아무래도 뭐 개인차는 다 있겠죠. 자, 첫 번째 표현을 좀 볼까요? 이런 통근 시간을 여기서 commuting time이라고 했어요.
Yes, commuting time or to commute basically means to travel, but you're traveling from one place to another and back again. And we will almost always use this from home to work and work to home. So we talk about commuting to work or how long is your commute? That is the time it takes you to get to work or get back from work.
Is commuting a gerund in this case? Commuting time. I'm not
Why
sure.
are you teasing me with the gerunds? I don't
it-
have an answer to your question right now, Sue.
Right, because you could we just change this to the average commute time?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I would say normally.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 그래요. 여기서 commute time이라고 해도 전혀 달라지지 않아요. 둘 다 똑같이 통근, 출퇴근이라는 의미가 되겠습니다. 그래서 질문을 한다면은 How long does it take you to commute? To commute to work?
Yeah, you say
commute to work.
Yeah, or how long is your commute is
How
the other
long
way of
is your
saying it.
commute? 이렇게 질문하면 되겠네요. 그러면 이제 물어보는 거예요. 서로 이 질문 한번 해보시면 통근 시간 얼마나 되세요? 길에서 얼마나 시간을 보내세요? How long is your commute?
Yeah.
그래서 지금 선생님은 아까 20분 정도 말씀하셨고
Today.
오늘은 그런 거죠. 왜냐하면 트래픽가 없기 때문에.
Yeah.
네,
And
그렇고
tomorrow it's 2 hours.
2 hours tomorrow. So on average, more than an hour for you.
Yeah, as a freelancer, you end up not really commuting because you're always traveling to different places as opposed to the same workplace every day.
Same for me, actually, because sometimes, I live not too far away from EBS, so it doesn't take me that long to get here. But when I have other work in
Yeah.
other parts of Seoul, it takes me hours.
Absolutely, but that's the joy of living in a big city like this one.
That's right. What about the word to record?
Yes, to record means to note, to make a note of something, to write it down, to store that information. So here we're not talking about a record like a record breaker, you're breaking a record. Here we're just talking about we've noted down that information. Here, the Seoul metropolitan area recorded the longest commuting time. We wrote it down, we stored that information to say, yep, in Seoul people travel further and for longer.
네, 자, to record라는 건 기록한다라는 뜻이 있죠. 그리고 조금 전에 제가 문법 설명을 on the spot로 갑자기 선생님한테 드려서 좀
Thanks.
죄송했는데
Thanks a lot.
네, 문법에서
Not the gerunds again. I can't even say it properly.
gerund는 동명사예요. 그래서 여기서는 commuting time, time이 commuting 하는 건 아니잖아요. 그래서 commuting, like swimming 이런 것처럼 하나의 명사인데
네.
그런 이제 ing 형태를 띠고 있다. 이렇게 간단하게 설명을 드릴 수 있을 것 같고 이 경우는 그냥 commute time, commuting time 다 마찬가지고요. 그냥 how long is your commute처럼 하나의 단어로 그냥 탁 쓰는 경우도 많습니다.
네.
자, 제가 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The average commuting time for Koreans this year was found to be over 70 minutes per day, while the Seoul metropolitan area recorded the longest commuting time at 1 hour and 22 minutes, according to Statistics Korea. Let's move on to the next headline.
Kilauea on Hawaii's Big Island, one of the world's most active volcanoes, has begun spewing lava and cloud-line plumes of volcanic gas and ash.
세계에서 가장 활발한 화산 중 하나인 미국 하와이 빅 아일랜드의 킬라우에아 화산이 용암을 분출하기 시작했습니다. 화산가스와 미세 입자로 이루어진 구름 기둥도 분출된 것으로 전해졌습니다.
You've heard of fog, Sue.
I have.
You've heard of smog, Sue.
I have.
But have you heard of VOG?
Tell me what VOG is.
Volcanic smog. And it's not nice. It contains sulfur dioxide. And that means if you've got a lung condition like asthma, for example, or other respiratory conditions, or even cardiovascular disease, it can be pretty dangerous for you.
Right.
It can cause harm. And that's the biggest threat at the moment. Nobody's
Right.
worried about the spewing of the lava. It's more about this volcanic smog. The area itself has been closed to the public for quite a while. It's
Yeah.
been closed since 2007 because it's unstable. There's rock falls, there's ground cracking. You could really seriously injure yourself. We'll see. It is an active volcano, which
Yeah.
means it could erupt at any time. Hawaii is one of those places where residents live with that every single day. Fortunately, in this case, it's just the VOG they have to worry about.
네, volcanic smog. 이거를 VOG라고 하는군요.
네.
우리가 smog는 잘 아실 텐데 뭐와 뭐가 합쳐진 거죠?
Yes, it's volcano or volcanic plus smog.
smog가 smoke and fog.
Smoke and fog, yes.
그렇죠. 그다음에 아까 또 다른 거
Fog.
what was the other one?
Fog,
그냥
smog and fog.
fog. 그다음에 smog는 smoke and fog이고
I can add frog if you like, but it's not really relevant.
그렇죠. VOG는 volcanic 화산재가 이제 섞인 그런 스모그라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 자, 그래요. 그런데 이제 2007년부터
네.
일반인들은 이 화산 근처에 가지 못하도록 통제를 하고 있기는 해요. 왜냐하면은 활화산이고 위험할 수도 있기 때문에 그렇습니다만, 정말 이게 만약에 폭발을 하게 될 경우에는 상당히 위험하긴 하거든요.
Yeah.
좀 우려가 많습니다. This is an active volcano, you said earlier.
Yes, as opposed to a dormant volcano. If you're active, well, you're doing things. If you're dormant, you're asleep. If you've heard of Alice in Wonderland, there's the dormouse who always likes to sleep because it's dormant. So an active volcano is a volcano that's doing something. The lava is bubbling. It may occasionally spew out smoke or flames or VOG, as opposed to an extinct volcano. I believe on Jeju, is it Ilsan Chulbol is not a volcano? An extinct volcano?
Which one?
The big, beautiful Songsan.
일출봉.
Yes.
Oh, that's not an active
it's
or
not.
dormant one.
It's extinct, is it
Okay.
not?
I didn't know it was a volcano, actually.
Oh, but I could be very wrong. I do not quote me on this, but there are extinct volcanoes where you have literally just a crater. Nothing will ever happen there again. A dormant volcano, nothing's happening now, but in 5, 10, 20, 100 years, it could erupt. But here in Hawaii especially, and in Iceland, they have to deal with active volcanoes.
So I've just looked it up. Songsan Ilchulbong was created from the lava that came out of a volcano. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not actually a volcano itself.
I'm very sorry, everybody. I was misinformed. I will be punishing myself in the song
That's
break.
fine. But apparently, this was formed over 6,700 years ago.
But
So
is
it's a
the
long
volcano
time.
that spewed it out extinct?
I don't.
I
think
hope so.
I don't. Please don't ask me too many questions about these
You
volcanoes.
were asking me about the Jeronsu.
Yes,
It's my
My
revenge.
fault. My fault. 자, 그래요. 화산 얘기할 때 우리가 보통 세 가지로 분류를 하죠. 완전히 죽은 이제 사화산은 extinct volcano라고 하고요. 그 다음에 이제 좀 뭐 활동을 하고 있진 않지만 그렇다고 해서 사화산은 아닌 휴화산은 영어로 dormant volcano라고 합니다. 활화산은 active volcano라고 해요. 자, 그 다음에 to spew는 뭘까요?
Yes, to spew, S-P-E-W, is to forcefully eject some kind of matter or liquid. If you've ever had a broken pipe, it can be awful because the pipe cracks and suddenly water or sewage spews everywhere. It comes out not just in a little dribble, not in dribs and drabs, but with power. That is to spew.
네, spew는요 분출하다 그리고 뿜다 이런 뜻도 있어요. 그래서 여기서 라바를 뿜어내는 것을
네.
묘사하고 있습니다. 다시 제가 읽어볼게요. Kilauea on Hawaii's Big Island, one of the most active volcanoes, has begun spewing lava and cloud-lined plumes of volcanic gas and ash.
New research suggests that Stonehenge may have been reconstructed in England around 2620 to 2480 BC to help unify ancient Britons as newcomers arrived from Europe.
영국 스톤헨지 유적지가 고대 영국을 통일시키기 위한 목적으로 기원전 2620년에서 2480년 사이에 지어졌을 가능성을 제기한 연구 결과가 발표됐습니다. 네, 사실 이제 이 스톤헨지라는 게 여러 단계에 걸쳐서 만들어졌다고 해요.
Yeah.
그리고 특히 지금 이 영어 헤드라인에 보면은 재건됐다, reconstructed라는 표현이 나오기 때문에 만들어졌다가 또 다시 만들어지고 이런 과정들이 여러 번 있었다고 합니다.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, stone circles in Europe are a big thing.
Yeah.
We're talking like 3,000-4,000 years ago or longer. They were part of pagan worship.
Right.
Even at the solstice, so the summer solstice, winter solstice, Dongji, that we just had a few days ago, people would gather at stone circles to celebrate.
But the significance of this study is, like you said, in the past,
Yeah.
many people thought these were built for religious reasons or scientific reasons.
Yes, but here it seems to be about a form of, I don't know, nationalism or patriotism.
Political reason.
Yeah, England, for those who don't know as well, is a mongrel nation. We have been invaded so many times, not so much over the last 1,000 years, but from the French, from the Romans, from the Vikings, from the Germans, from all areas.
Yeah.
And so with newcomers coming in 4,500 years ago, it seems like Stonehenge was actually a way to sort of unite the population to say, we stand as Britons at the time.
Yeah, exactly. 여기 Briton, B-R-I-T-O-N, 이거는 영국 사람이라는 뜻이고요. 이게 이제 지금으로부터 한 5,000년 전부터 해가지고 한 500년 전까지도 계속 여러 단계에 걸쳐서 스톤헨지가 만들어지고 또 다시 만들어지고 뭐 이렇게 변형이 되고 그랬던 것 같은데 지금 여기서 재밌는 거는요. 우리가 생각하지 못했던 이유로 이렇게 기원전 2,500년경 그때 이게 세워졌을 것이다. 그 이유는 뭐냐면은 England, Scotland, Wales를 통일시키기 위한 목적이었을 것이다. The reason they think that, I believe, is because the stones came from the different parts of the
Yeah,
UK.
this is what we're learning more and more over the past few decades and more recently, that, these people at the time were moving blocks of stone that were something like 6 tons over 700 kilometers.
Yeah.
But there was not just a religious purpose, but also, it seems, this political, social purpose that meant that an island of kingdoms would end up being the United Kingdom.
Yeah, definitely. 자, 잉글랜드, 스코틀랜드, 웨일스라는 게 이제 뭐 구별이 되지 않았을 시기부터도 그러나 이제 통일하고자 하는 염원은 있었던 것 같아요. 그걸 왜 생각하게 됐냐면은 각각의 도를 분석해 봤더니 하나는 이제 오늘날의 스코틀랜드에서 또 하나는 오늘날의 웨일스에서 또 이제 잉글랜드에서 뭐 이렇게 온 그런 흔적들이 보여가지고 아 그러면 각각의 지역에서 사람들이 돌을 가져와 가지고 우리가 하나 됐다는 걸 보여주자 이러지 않았을까? 이렇게 추측이 된다는 거죠. Let's look at the word to reconstruct.
To rebuild, to remake. I think there will be quite a few children in Korea who will be reconstructing their building block sets that they got for Christmas. They built, they knocked down,
Yeah.
they build them again, they reconstruct them.
Yeah.
So we can use this for houses, we can use it for anything that is built, anything that is made up of separate items put together.
그렇죠. 재건하는 것을 reconstruct 한다고 하고요. And who's a newcomer?
Well, I mean, it's anyone who's newly arrived, who wasn't there before. And that could be on a national scale, like a newcomer to Korea. It could be on a regional scale, like a newcomer to Seoul. Or it could be on a business scale, like a newcomer to EBS or Morning Special.
맞습니다. 우리 모닝 스페셜에도 매일매일 newcomer, 새로운 듣고 계신 청취자분들도 계시죠?
네.
새로 온 사람, 이런 신입이나 신참을 newcomer라고 합니다. 한 단어예요. 제가 다시 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. New research suggests that Stonehenge may have been reconstructed in England around 2620 to 2480 BC to help unify ancient Britons as newcomers arrived from Europe. Now let's move on to the next headline.
Scientists have unveiled the remains of a 50,000-year-old baby mammoth found in thawing permafrost in the remote Yakutia region of Siberia during the summer.
러시아 시베리아 극동부 야쿠티아 지역에 영구 동토층이 녹으면서 5만 년 전 아기 매머드 사체가 발견됐습니다. So the discovery was made in the summer, but it's now being disclosed, right?
Exactly. And her name is Yana. And
What
she
does that mean?
Well, it's named after where she was discovered. The river basin is called Yana. And it's a really important discovery because this 50,000-year-old baby mammoth is the best preserved mammoth carcass, mammoth body that we have. She's bigger than you or I. It's about 120 centimeters tall, but 200 centimeters long.
Okay.
Weighing about 100 kilograms, so about the same weight as me. And she was only about a year old when she died, they think. They're estimating that. They're thinking that perhaps she got trapped in a swamp and then died. And the great thing about swamps, well, bad thing is you can die in the swamp.
Yeah.
The good thing is that swamps are really good at preservation. We've seen it not just for animals, but also for humans in the UK. The peat bog man in the 80s was very famous, where we
Right.
actually had ancient bodies preserved over hundreds and thousands of years thanks to swamps.
와우. 이렇게 늪에 빠진 1살짜리 매머드로 추정이 된다고 하는데요. 그 늪에 빠져서 아마 즉사를 했을 것이다 라고 보여지는 이유가 너무나 상태가 좋다는 거예요. 지금 사체에 그냥 사체지만 여러 가지로 지금 연구를 하기에 굉장히 좋은 상태의 사체라고 하고요. 이름을 붙였네요. 야나라는 이름. 그 다음에는 이제 이렇게 5만 년 된 매머드인데 원래 이제 여름에 발견을 했어요, 과학자들이. 그러나 지금 일반인들에게 공개를 하고 있다라는 소식입니다. All right, what's thawing permafrost?
Well, I tell you what it is. It's something that shouldn't happen, but it has happened here.
Yeah.
Now, if something thaws, it melts. For example, in the UK right now, millions of people will be thawing their turkeys. They took them out of the fridge or the freezer yesterday and they're waiting for all the ice to melt so they can be ready to cook on Christmas morning.
Sure.
So we use thaw like when spring comes, the ground thaws. However, permafrost should not thaw.
Because there's the word perma in
Yeah,
there.
perma meaning permanent frost. So it's not ice. We're not talking about glaciers. We're talking about frozen ground. So this
Yeah.
could be soil, this could be rocks, this could be sand or a mixture, but it is frozen permanently. In Korea, you won't find permafrost. But if you go to Siberia, if you go to the polar regions, that's where you should find permafrost. But thanks to the climate crisis, we have the thawing permafrost to thank for Yana.
자, permafrost. 이것도 한 단어지만 두 덩어리로 나눠서 생각할 수 있는데요. permanent의 perma예요. 영구적이다. frost는 여기서 얼음으로 이루어진 땅을 말하거든요. 그러니까 영구 동토층인데 그러면은 녹지 말아야 되잖아요. 영구적으로 얼음 상태여야 되니까. 근데 이게 녹은 거예요. 지구 온난화 때문에 이렇게 녹고 있는 것 같은데 그로 인해서 과학적인 발견이 생겼습니다만 이런 두 단어가 붙었다는 것 자체는 좀 우려스럽긴 합니다. thawing, 녹은, permafrost, 영구 동토층.
I wonder what you get if you go to a Korean hairdresser and ask for a permafrost.
permafrost.
It's like white curly hair?
그러게요. 우리 미용실에서 파마한다 그러잖아요. 아니면 펌한다고 한다
네.
할 땐 그것도 사실은 permanent 를 줄임말이래요. 그래서 예전에는 한 번 하면은 절대 풀리지 않는 curl을 만들어준다라고 해서 그 단어를 붙였다고 합니다. 자, 그 다음에 이 thawing, T-H-A-W, 이거는 우리 냉동고에 있는 음식을 해동할 때도 이 단어를 써요. 그래서 아까 thawing turkey, 영국 사람들 지금 다 그러고 있을 거다 했고요. remote.
Nothing to do with your TV. Nothing to do with a remote control. If something is remote, it is far away from everything else. So we talk about a remote forest, a remote village,
Right.
a remote house, meaning there's nothing around it. It's far away from everything else that they need or they want to be close to.
That's right. 외진, 외딴, remote. 그래서 외딴 섬, remote island. 먼 곳에서 우리가 텔레비전 조정하는 그 기계, remote control.
Yeah.
리모컨이 되는 거죠.
Or if your friend is ignoring you, if you feel really remote today.
Yeah, you feel remote. 친구가 이제 잘 연락을 안 하고 좀 왠지 날 피하는 것 같다. 그러면은 느낌이 또
네.
이제 나랑 좀 멀어진 것 같다 할 수도 있겠죠. 그래서 멀다는 느낌이 있습니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Scientists have unveiled the remains of a 50,000-year-old baby mammoth found in thawing permafrost in the remote Yakutia region of Siberia during the summer. All right, let's move on to the final headline.
Forbes has released its list of the 50 most valuable sports teams in the world, with the NFL's Dallas Cowboys topping the list for the 9th consecutive year at a staggering valuation of $10.1 billion.
미국 경제 전문지 포브스가 발표한 2024년 전 세계 스포츠팀 가치 순위에 따르면 미국 프로풋볼 NFL 달러스 카우보이즈가 101억 달러, 우리 돈으로 약 14조 5천억 원의 가치를 인정받아 1위를 차지했습니다. Wow, that's staggering.
It is. I have to say that most of the teams are American because America is where there's big sport money to be made.
Big bucks.
Yeah, and NFL has the most teams, the most franchises collectively, something like $289 billion worth. That said, the NBA is becoming stronger. The teams are becoming more powerful. There are 12 NBA franchises now in those rankings. Last year it was only 6. We also have baseball falling out. They lost 2 of their teams that were in the top 50. Formula One is completely out of the top 50 now. And soccer, well, it has got 6 teams across 4 leagues. I have to say Spain is doing well. Real Madrid is the top football team at $6.6 billion, tied at 12th place. But yeah, NFL rules supreme, the
Yeah.
National Football League.
Well, the word staggering means what?
It's shocking, it's stunning, it's amazing, it's awe-inspiring. It makes you literally stagger back, take a few steps backwards.
맞아요. 자, stagger라는 거는 원래 뭐냐면은 이게 휘청휘청 거리는 거예요. 그래서 너무 놀라워서 몸을 이렇게 뒤로 뒷걸음질하게
네.
될 정도다. 이런 데서 나온
It's like when
표현입니다.
you're watching one of those early morning dramas on Korean television and he says, I'm not your daughter, I'm your sister.
What? 그러면서 깜짝 놀라면서 뒷걸음질하고 이렇게 몸이 약간 비틀비틀거리게 되는 그런 상황. staggering이라는 것은 그래서 너무 엄청난 일이
네.
일어났기 때문에 믿기가 어렵다, 충격적이다 이런 의미가 있어요. 여기서는 staggering valuation이네요.
Yeah, so valuation, the noun form of to value. And a valuation is when we work out how much something or someone is worth. How much money they would cost if we were to sell them or to buy them.
네, 그 어떤 가치액 아니면은 가치 평가 이런 거를 valuation이라고 하죠.
As opposed to what you might get at work at the end of the year, which would be an evaluation.
네, evaluation은 이제 내가 얼마나 잘했는지 평가받는 거죠. 그 평가. 근데 그냥 이 빼고 valuation이라는 것은 얼마만큼의 가치가 있는지 매기는 그런 평가입니다. 그게 놀랍다는 거예요. 왜냐하면 액수가 워낙 커서 staggering valuation. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Forbes has released its list of the 50 most valuable sports teams in the world, with the NFL's Dallas Cowboys topping the list for the 9th consecutive year at a staggering valuation of $10.1 billion.
Korea has officially become a super-aged society, with 20% of its population aged 65 and older, according to the Ministry of the Interior and Safety.
국내 65세 이상 인구 비율이 전체 주민등록 인구의 20%를 돌파함에 따라 우리나라가 초고령 사회로 공식 진입했다고 행정안전부가 발표했습니다. So Korea is not only an aged society, it's a super-aged society.
Well, this confirms what we probably already know, and this is not a new story. It's an old story, quite literally. But it is now that we are old, that not you and me, but Korea is old as a society. But we are also getting, as a society here, older. And so the number is out of the United Nations, which classifies societies based on the proportion or the population of the percentage of the population that is aged 65 and older. And now Korea has entered that super aged society classification, which means 20% or more of its population is 65 and older.
네, 유엔에서 이렇게 지정을 한 차트라고 해야 되나요? 연령대별이 아니라 이제 퍼센티지별로 65세 이상이 몇 퍼센트가 되면은 초고령 사회라고 부를 수 있는지 이렇게 지정해 놓은 게 있습니다. 그래서 이제 고령 사회는 전체 인구의 14% 이상이 65세 이상이면은 고령 사회고요. 초고령 사회는 이렇게 20%가 넘어서면은 20%부터 이렇게 인정을 해주는 것 같아요. So it's exceeding 20%. 20% 넘어서.
Right.
그렇습니다.
Over 20%. Just to
네.
put a number on it, we have roughly 51 million people here
Yep.
in South Korea. And we have over 10 million that are aged 65 and over. So that is, that's 1 of 5. That's a pretty high percentage. So
is.
that puts Korea into the super aged society category.
그렇죠. 지금 얘기한 게 전체 인구가 51 million,
roughly.
5,100만 명. 그 중에서 65세 이상이 아까 10 million이라고 하셨나요?
Yeah, 10 million, 200,000-ish in that neighborhood.
네, 1,000만 명이 좀 넘습니다. 자, 그러면은요, 우리 첫 번째 표현을 좀 볼게요. Officially.
Officially. Officially means something that is done in a formal or public way. And specifically in the context of this article, it's something that is said or done with the authority of a government or an organization. So somebody says this, it is an official fact or statement.
Yeah. 공식적으로, 정식으로 뭐뭐뭐 할 때 officially라고 하죠. 그래서 특히 공식적으로 뭐 발표했을 때 많이 쓰는 표현입니다. What about aged?
Aged. This is actually something we use a lot when we talk about what you can or cannot do. You might go to an amusement park and it might say only for children aged 5 and over. So it talks about how old you have to be able to do something.
그렇죠. 나이가 몇 살이어야 된다라는 얘기가 될 수도 있고요. 아니면 몇 살이다가 될 수도 있는데 이 헤드라인에서는 65세 그리고 그 이상 aged 65 and older. 우리 놀이동산에 가면은 뭐 예를 들자면은 뭐 12살 미만은 탈 수 없다. 그 이후는 탈 수 있다. 이런 식으로 이게 나이 제한이 있는 라이드들도 있잖아요. 그때 쓸 수도 있고. 그다음에 이제 음식에 대해서 얘기할 때는 이제 좀 숙성이 된 음식일 때 또 이렇게
Right. When
표현하기도
we talk
해요.
about meat or
그때는 이제 나이를 붙이진 않지만 좀 다른 의미인데 그렇게 쓰기도 합니다. Alright, well let's have a look at the headline again. 제가 다시 읽어볼게요. Korea has officially become a super-aged society with 20% of its population aged 65 and older, according to the Ministry of the Interior and Safety. Let's move on to the next headline.
El Salvador has lifted a 7-year ban on metals mining, permitting it everywhere except in nature reserves and sensitive watersheds, despite opposition from environmental groups.
엘살바도르가 환경단체들의 반대에도 불구하고 7년 동안 유지된 금속 채굴 금지 조치를 철회했습니다. 이에 따라 앞으로 자연보호구역 및 민감한 강유역을 제외한 엘살바도 내 모든 곳에서 채굴이 허용됩니다. Tell us more.
So this law, it was proposed by a very popular president in their country right now, President Nayib Bukele, and it passed on a 57-3 vote, and it would allow metals mining everywhere except in these environmentally sensitive nature reserves and watersheds. It is expected to go into law with this approval.
Right. And this would translate to more money, I suppose.
Well, I think
Okay.
follow the green. It doesn't always mean follow the environmental green. It can be
Follow the money.
the dollar
Yeah.
green. In this case, I think, right? So the president has said that his country probably has untold amounts of gold that need to be mined or that could be mined for millions and millions of dollars. The problem is this is not guaranteed. We don't know that that's true.
Right.
You have to get in there to see,
Yeah.
and that is what causes the environmental damage that so many groups and even the Catholic Church has come out to say, this is horrible.
Oh, I see. Well, on social media, it looks like El Salvador's president actually said that he estimates the gold reserves of El Salvador to be around $3 trillion. So that's a lot of money, but it's an estimation, of course.
It is an estimation, but even if it is, let's say, true, if his prediction that that's how much gold El Salvador is sitting on is true, I guess the larger question is at what cost?
Yeah.
At what true cost?
Yeah.
And if that cost is to the environment, this could be irreversible damage.
True. All right, let's look at the word accept.
Accept. Not to be confused with a similar sounding accept, A-C-C-E-P-T. Today we're talking about E-X-C-E-P-T. And this means not including, other than something. So when you're talking about something, you're saying not including this.
EXCEPT는 무엇을 제외하고라는 의미죠. ACC가 들어가는 accept는 뭔가 받아들이다가 되겠고요. 자, 그 다음에는 despite.
Despite. Despite means without being affected by some condition or some person or some factor, in spite of or without being influenced by something.
그렇죠. 자, 여기서 말하는 despite something 아니면 in spite of something이라고 하면 뭐뭐에도 불구하고 이런 의미가 되겠습니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. El Salvador has lifted a 7-year ban on metals mining, permitting it everywhere except in nature reserves and sensitive watersheds, despite opposition from environmental groups.
NASA's Parker Solar Probe has reportedly broken a new record with its closest approach ever to the sun, braving the blistering heat of the star's outer atmosphere, the corona.
미국 항공우주국 나사의 파커 탐사선이 태양의 외부 대기인 코로나의 극도로 뜨거운 열기를 견뎌내며 인류 역사상 가장 근접한 태양 관측에 성공한 것으로 전해졌습니다. Tell us more.
Yes, so this is a story that brought an early Christmas present for the
Yeah.
NASA researchers.
Right.
We've seen where the rooms of scientists where they, burst out in applause when they, reach an accomplishment like this. This NASA spacecraft is now the the closest that it's ever been
Yeah.
to the sun at 3.8 million miles, which is an unfathomable number for most of us. But even at that distance, we call that the closest that any human-made object has gotten to the sun.
비록 380만 마일 떨어져 있었으니까 좀 이것도 먼 거 아니냐 할 수 있겠지만 지금까지 인간이 보낸 탐사선이 태양에 근접한 것 중에선 가장 가까운 거리라고 합니다. 이게 Parker Solar Probe라는 탐사선이고요. 그다음에 여기서 말하는 corona라는 거는 우리 그 코로나 바이러스가 아니라
No, no.
corona라는 단어 자체가 원래는 it comes from the word for crown
Right.
because it looks like a crown, right?
And also the coronavirus too is
Yeah, also
I think
looked
from
like
the
a-
same
yeah,
because of
맞아요.
the same Latin root there.
맞습니다.
But we're also traumatized by that word that we associate it with. But yes, in this case, it is
맞아요.
the part of the atmosphere.
of the sun. 네, 태양 외부 대기 모양이 이렇게 왕관 모양이라고 해서 라틴어의 코로나 어원은요, 왕관이라는 뜻이 있거든요. 그래서 우리 코비드 바이러스도 사실 그런 모양이어서 그렇게 이름을 붙였었던 건데 지금 이거는 완전히 다른 겁니다만 그 같은 단어가 나와 있어요.
So even though it's 3.8 million miles, which is a distance that we cannot even imagine, we can, for fun, say that this probe actually touched the sun.
Yeah,
That's how,
sure.
at least in scientific terms, that's how close we've gotten. And just like the song that we just listened to, Rome wasn't built in a day, this was not something that happened overnight. NASA worked on this for years, and this was actually the 22nd time that this Parker probe attempted this, and it's getting closer every time.
와우. 정말 여러 번 시도를 했었고 그중에 이번이 마침 딱 크리스마스 이브 날 이렇게 가까이 간 건데요. 가장 태양에 근접한 그런 탐사였습니다. So it had to brave the blistering heat.
Yes, brave, B-R-A-V-E, is a word that many of you are probably familiar with, especially when used as an adjective. But in this case, we're using it as a verb, to
Yeah.
brave something. And that means that you are ready to face something, to endure something. You have gotten yourself ready to have to deal with something usually difficult or unpleasant or something undesirable. And also to get something that you want.
그렇죠. 여기서 brave는 동사예요. 그래서 용감히 맞서다. 우리가 아주 추운 날씨를 이겨낼 때도 brave the cold라고 하지만 여기서는 태양이 굉장히 뜨거우니까 brave the heat입니다. But what kind of heat was it?
Oh, it was blistering,
Blistering
heat.
heat.
Blistering heat. There's so many creative ways or very descriptive ways to describe, weather conditions. Blistering. Blister is actually like, when you spend too much time in the sun, you might get little, water pustules on your skin.
Yeah.
So in that way, that's how hot it is. It's actually causing blistering. It means that something is very, very hot.
물집이 생길 정도로 덥다. 굉장히 덥다는 뜻입니다. 한마디로. The blistering heat. 자, blistering은 이제 지독하게도 덥다. 이렇게 보시면 될 것 같고요.
We can also use it in quite the same way, but to describe remarks or something that somebody says. If it's really harsh, if your boss gives you a blistering, scolding or evaluation, it would be something very harsh, negative.
혹독하다. 그럴 때는 또 그렇게 쓸 수 있겠군요. 여기서는 히트가 나왔기 때문에 지독히 더운, 매우 매우 더운 태양을 말하네요. 다시 제가 읽어보겠습니다. NASA's Parker Solar Probe has reportedly broken a new record with its closest approach ever to the sun, braving the blistering heat of the star's outer atmosphere, the corona. Right, let's move on to the next headline.
Rome's world-famous Trevi Fountain has reopened after a 3-month restoration, with the city implementing a new queuing system to manage crowds around the iconic landmark.
세계적인 관광 명소인 이탈리아 로마의 트레비 분수가 3개월간의 보수 공사를 마치고 다시 문을 열었습니다. 로마시는 분수 관람객 인파를 관리하기 위한 새로운 대기 시스템도 이번에 함께 도입했습니다. We covered the story about 3 months ago, saying that the Trevi Fountain was going to be closed to the public for roughly 3 months. And now, already, they finished all the renovation work they needed to do, and now
Right.
it's open again.
So during that 3-month period, they looked at what needed to be done to sort of clean up this fountain.
Yeah.
Things were falling off of it, and the things were just not in good shape. And so
Right.
they spent 3 months rather, removing the mold and sort of these crusty formations on it. And now authorities are going to have a queuing system to sort of monitor and manage the number of people that come to see this beloved landmark.
Exactly. Do you use the word queue often in your normal vocabulary is what I meant to say.
And vocal, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
The short answer is no. As a North American speaker of English, I don't think we use it as often.
I don't think so.
And certainly not growing up. We
Yeah.
definitely did not say it. Now, as an adult, living in a more of an international environment, I know that our Commonwealth friends say it. Certainly our British friends say it.
Yeah.
And so you sort of pick it up and
Right.
understand it. And I think Americans might have a more of an understanding of this word. But no, the short answer is we never said this growing up.
So you would normally say to line up.
To line up, to stand in line, something like that. But queue, no, if you just said it to an average American, he or she might say, what, the letter?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, exactly. 그 queue라는 단어부터 지금 봤는데요. 줄 서는 것도 queuing이고 그다음에 이제 그 줄 자체도 queue예요. 발음은 그냥 알파벳처럼 들리죠. 근데 스펠링이 굉장히 깁니다. Q-U-E-U-E 이렇게 써요. 발음은 그냥 queue예요.
queue.
네. 그래서
You
북미
say this quite a lot. though.
저는 많이 쓰죠. 예, 영국에서 많이 쓰는 표현이고요. 그 다음에 이제 영연방 국가들, 캐나다, 호주에서도 아마 어느 정도 들을 수 있을 거예요. 근데 캐나다는 그렇지만 바로 옆에 미국이 있기 때문에 미국의 영향으로 아마 line up이라는 미국식 표현도 반 쓰고 queuing이라는 표현도 반은 쓰지 않을까 이렇게
So I asked one of my
추정해요.
Canadian friends as I was preparing the story last night, and he said no, he didn't grow up saying this
Oh,
either.
okay.
He's certainly familiar with it, but like you say, because of the proximity to
America. Yeah.
American English, I think it's not as common there.
네네. 그러네요. 캐나다는 아무래도 지리적으로는 바로 미국 옆이기 때문에 영국에서 가져온 표현들도 있지만 미국의 영향을 좀 더 많이 받는 것 같다는 생각 들어요. 자, 그래서 이 queue라는 단어가 여기서는 어떻게 썼냐면 a new queuing system. 새로 이렇게 줄 서는 방식, 새로운 어떤 이제 대기하는 방식 그런 시스템을 도입한다 이런 거고요. Implement, what's that?
Implement, I-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T, here used as a verb. So implement something is to bring it into action, to start something in easier terms. It can be a law, it can be a statute, it can be a regulation, a policy. But now you are going to make it happen.
네. 뭔가 도입하다 아니면 시행하다라고 할 때 implement something이라고 합니다. 좀 공식적인 느낌이 있죠? 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Rome's world-famous Trevi Fountain has reopened after a 3-month restoration, with the city implementing a new queuing system to manage crowds around the iconic landmark. Let's move on to the final headline.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary has announced that polarization, defined as division into two sharply distinct opposites, is its word of the year for 2024.
미국의 유명 사전 출판사인 메리엄 웹스터가 2024년 올해의 단어로 뚜렷하게 다른 두 개의 반대편으로 나님을 뜻하는 양극화, polarization을 선정했습니다. This is interesting because it conjures up a lot of images, especially on the political scene. But tell us about this.
Yes. Obviously these words of the year, we covered one a few weeks ago as well. Different publications put out these words of the year. They sort of try to summarize everything that happened in the year.
Yeah.
Good, bad, all of it. And in this case, this follows a very shall we say, contentiously fought U.S. presidential election, a very historical election. And on the heels of that, Merriam-Webster decided polarization would be the appropriate word
Yeah.
to sort of sum up 2024. It describes when things are not in the middle, not even on the continuum, but sort of at either end, extreme ends.
That's right. 그래서 pole이라는 게 어떤 그런 극을 말하거든요. 북극을 North Pole, 남극을 South Pole이라고 하죠. 이렇게 양극화는 또 polarization이라고 합니다. What does defined as mean?
Defined as, you are describing what something is. Defined as, we say this a lot, obviously, on our program to, to say what a word means, to describe it.
Definition, 이 정의죠. 단어의 정의. 그렇다면은 define as는 이렇게 정의된다라는 표현이 되겠고요. Distinct. What about that?
Distinct. Distinct is a word that is similar and different to different, funny enough. Distinct means that two things or two people are different and usually in a way that we can sense, that we can kind of figure out or see through our senses. Two very different concepts or people, usually in a way that we can feel.
뚜렷하게 구별되는 것을 말합니다. Distinct. 자, 그러면은 요 Merriam-Webster Dictionary의 뭐 가장 대표적인 2024년 단어가 물론 polarization이었지만 보니까 그 외에도 여러 개가 있긴 하네요.
Right. They usually don't just put out, well, they put out one word that
Yeah.
is their word of the year or words of the year, but Merriam-Webster also puts out a list of their other nominations.
Yep.
We have on this list totality, demure, which was kind of a word that was going all around
Social
TikTok
media,
and
yeah.
social media,
Yeah.
yes. Fortnight, which Americans don't use as much.
It's
but
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Pander. That's when you say something to somebody to make them feel good. Resonate. Resonate. If something I say, if it's something that you feel like you can understand,
Yeah.
those words resonate with me. Elision. Elision. What does this mean?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look it
We'll
up.
have to look at some of these.
The Merriam-Webster Dictionary. And then we have weird, cognitive, democracy.
democracy. Yeah.
여러 후보 단어들을 지금 쭉 봤는데요. 보면은 이제 올해 있었던 여러 가지 일들을 단어에서 파악할 수 있는 것 같습니다. 뭐 소셜 미디어 상의 인기였던 단어부터 시작해서 미국 정치를 좀 생각하게 하는 그런 단어들도 있네요.
And the world as a whole. I think
Yeah,
we do live in polarized times.
That's right.
So the end of the year is a good time to sort of come together and remember our similarities
Exactly.
over our differences.
맞습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Merriam-Webster Dictionary has announced that polarization, defined as division into two sharply distinct opposites, is its word of the year for 2024. That's it for the headlines.